Yes, shalom everyone. I'm Amir Tsarfati. That's my second attempt to give you an important update on the unbelievable press conference that President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu just held in the Oval Office minutes ago. So I'm going to wait for you to connect, and please also, if you can, share it. I deleted my first attempt because it didn't work well with holding the phone and the lighting and everything. So why don't I wait for a few minutes. In the meantime, please share. And I'm going to give you a very, very important, very important update. Okay? This is epic. This is historic. This is phenomenal. This is groundbreaking. This is, I don't have enough superlatives to give you on the importance of what I just heard. I'm here with Steve Yon. We're working on a new novel, and we were both amazed. Both of us were just holding our heads like that every time the president would speak and answer the stupid questions of stupid journalists, because the Medianites are Medianites. All they care about is Palestinian state, staying in Gaza, and this and that. And they don't understand that great people think differently. And I think, honestly, that the criteria to choose journalists today are you must be stupid and evil. And I think that stupid is not good enough. Evil is another thing. And you can't just be evil. You have to be stupid also. So basically, stupid and evil journalists were bombing both Netanyahu and Trump with stupid questions instead of trying to understand that someone cares about the Palestinians, finally. All they talk about is why shouldn't they stay in Gaza, and why shouldn't we declare a Palestinian state when none of the Palestinians wants a Palestinian state. They still don't understand, even after October 7th, that all they want is to live instead of us and not next to us. Why don't you ask them? They'll tell you. So President Trump basically answered questions, and he said that he believes that Egypt and Jordan maybe say no now to receive Palestinians from Gaza, but they will have to say yes, just like Canada and Mexico said no to his terms, and eventually he managed to change their minds. I mean, the fact that he even compared them to, that tells you that he understands the leverage that he has, and he understands that he can use it just as he used with Canada and with Mexico, and of course get the results. He even added that he believes there's going to be more countries that will accept the Palestinians in Gaza. The president made it very clear. Listen to me right now, and this is why I came live on Facebook, and we're going to put it on YouTube in a few minutes. And Steve, maybe you can text Shane to put it on YouTube. But it's very important that you understand it, folks. President Trump is not talking about Hamas staying in power. He's not even talking about the Palestinian Authority replacing Hamas. He's talking about all of the Gazans must leave. They cannot stay there. It's not a safe place. And he even elaborated and he said, look, there's tons of tunnels and there's tons of bombs that have not exploded yet. And it's a demolition site. And even the houses that are not destroyed tend to fall apart. He says, you can't, this is not human to stay there. He said they deserve better. Let's build for them in other places, towns and cities where they can have good life. And then he was asked about them coming back. And he said the following thing. He said, why would they want to come back when they have better life elsewhere? I don't know if you understand what he just said. This is, in a single sentence, the entire narrative of the Palestinians collapsed. He basically said, You deserve to live better life elsewhere. Look what happened ever since Hamas took control, ever since Israel pulled out. It's all about death all the time. You strike, you're getting killed. You strike again, you're getting killed again. Your own Hamas people is killing you and slitting your throats and all of that. Stop it. And Netanyahu was asked, because, you know, the media is so evil, that the media wants Hamas to stay in power, just so the hostages will come back. But they don't understand. Hamas will never give the hostages back unless Hamas stays in power, which is another October 7th. Netanyahu says, I am all in for phase 2, as long as we meet the 3 goals of our war. Returning our hostages, making sure Gaza will never pose a threat, and making sure Hamas is not in power without weapon and without military capability. These are the 3 things. You can't just talk about returning the hostages and leave those monsters in power to plot another October 7th. So you've got to understand, it was almost as if it's already a done deal that either Hamas will surrender, which they'll never do, or we are going to resume the war after the 42 days of phase 1. And then Trump was asked about Iran. And that was epic, because the reporter, remember, they're stupid and they're evil. The reporter said, Iran is now weak. And President Trump says, no, they're not. In fact, they were weak when I was president. They are strong right now. And this is exactly why Hamas did what it did, and that is exactly why Hezbollah did what it did, because Iran empowered them. And the president said the following thing: we will make sure that Iran is not having nuclear power. Now, if I don't know if you understand what he meant. To say that, it means I'm going to give them a chance to give up that program through a deal, because he just imposed the harshest maximum sanctions that he could, minutes before. But then he said, we'll do whatever it takes, which means he's going to give Netanyahu the green light to do whatever he needs to do in order for Iran not to have nuclear power. The fact that the President of the United States understands the danger of Iran and is not dismissing it like the stupid journalist. Can you imagine a journalist saying, oh, Iran is very weak right now? Why? Because it lost Hezbollah and Hamas? Iran is not. It's on the roll right now to produce more weapon and more rockets and more missiles and more submarines and more drones and more. Are you kidding me? So President Trump made it very clear that he's standing by Israel. Hamas will not stay in power. Gaza has to be evacuated, and Iran will never possess nuclear weapon. This is epic. And Netanyahu was sitting there smiling. Now, of course, the evil media tried to put a wedge between Netanyahu and Trump. And so they asked Netanyahu, so who do you think gets the credit for the hostage deal? Is it Biden or is it Trump? And then they asked Trump, you had some issues with Netanyahu before. Do you have better relations? He never answered that even. I want to tell you something. Evil, stupid media can never give you accurate news. They can only brainwash you. This is exactly why I am committed to report news. And that's why you need to follow me on Telegram, because you will never hear the truth if you watch the media. Never, ever. The Israeli newspapers are garbage. All of the greatest anti-Semites are quoting Israeli newspapers. That's how garbage they are. And there's only one TV in Israel, not TV channel, that is, conservative one that is worth watching. Everything else is garbage. It's biased. It's with an agenda. It's brainwashed. It's progressive, liberal, left, and stay away from them. So I'm telling you folks, epic, historic, amazing press conference. I can't wait to hear what the outcome of the meeting itself is going to be. And when Netanyahu is coming back to Israel, of course, it will be a different prime minister with the backing of the world's strongest leader, and who already proved leadership by making sure that Canada and Mexico will do what they need to do in order to stop criminals entering into America and drugs entering into America. By the way, shouldn't that be obvious that countries should stop drugs and criminals from going into other countries? Shouldn't that be obvious that they should fight rather than be okay with that? Well, it wasn't until tariffs were imposed, and then the threat worked, leverage worked, and now we see what's going on. So again, remember, Trump just compared what he did with Mexico and Canada to what he is about to do with Jordan and Egypt. He basically put the Jordanian monarch and the Egyptian president on notice, and he basically told them, I am expecting you to say yes to what I'm offering. It's not going to cost you much. Rich countries are going to give you money to build towns and cities for Palestinians. That's it. It's going to have to happen because there's no other place for them to go to. You understand that? Guys, you're watching history in the making. We're progressing towards Israel safe, secure, and prosperous. When we don't have that enemy on our borders, we can be the country that Ezekiel described prior to its war. Phenomenal, historic, biblical, prophetic. I don't have enough words to describe all of that. The only thing I didn't agree with President Trump is when he was asked about Qatar, whether they are the problem or the solution, and he kind of said, well, Qatar is really willing to help. It's trying to help. I don't agree with that, but you know what? Trump will find out soon that the Qataris are busy right now destroying American youth and American people from within in your universities and in brainwashing with Al Jazeera, AJ Plus, and all of these things. He'll find out. But in the meantime, you know what? I'm taking everything that has been said and I'm saying, praise God, thank you, Lord. And I can live with everything that has been said. By the way, Trump was asked another thing. What do you think about, you said in 2020 that there will be a Palestinian state. And you know what he answered? He said, well, a lot has changed since. He did not fall in the trap of saying, yes, there will be, yes, for sure, yes, if I promise it will. No, he also realized that October 7th was the burial of that stupid idea to give this fake nation anything, because he also knows they don't want to live in peace with us. They want to live instead of us. They will do whatever it takes day and night to destroy us. And he understands that. So I'm just telling you folks, phenomenal, epic, historic, prophetic, whatever, biblical, whatever you want to call this meeting, share this with as many as you can and keep praying. Love you. God bless you. And shalom from Southern California.